numbers for pollution, when we talk about like CO2 emissions, the residential section would be about 17% of all the pollution. Then it would be like commercial, transportation, but 17% is a pretty big pie. It's something that's easy because renovation has always been like a pretty hot market. A lot of people do it, people enjoy it, and you can actually make money doing that too, which you guys all know, by flipping houses, etc. And the government, what they want to do is kind of help you with your renovation. They want to, if you're going to spend some money on your house, they want to make sure you spend it efficiently, make sure it will actually make an impact on the environment and on your consumption figures as well. Because we also know that the energy prices are just skyrocketing all the time, and that it's never going to come back, especially if you don't do it kind of lower. You never know what happens. But overall, the government, what they want to do is give you grants to make sure that you do the work, and which means you can get pretty good payback right now. There's a bunch of stuff you would have probably done, but weren't sure if it would be going to pay back, either if you sell your house too quick or is it actually going to make a difference. And that's why they set up a group of advisors who can assist you trying to decide what you want to do with your house. And with all the grant money available, there's not really any reason not to do it. You can get paybacks probably between 10 years all the time. The whole plan was trying to get the payback under 6 years for most of the renovation.
We're licensed by Natural Resources Canada, so it's a big process, training and all that, to get the training for that. So we go to your house, we start off, we do the full heat loss calculation. Okay, so we start off by measuring the house, getting all the volumes, all the details of the house. So we look at the insulation values and the basement and the headers and the walls. We even go up in your attic. Some of us, see if we can fit, right? So we're going to look at the efficiency of your windows, if it's single pane, double pane, triple pane, low argon windows, that kind of stuff. We also look at your heating system, if it's an old oil furnace, old natural gas, or if it's older heat pump, 1980s, which is not efficient right as today's are right now, actually. It's a wood stove and all that kind of stuff. We also do a blower door test. For those wondering what that big fan there is, it's yeah, lift it up.
There you go.
Put it on the table. Turn it on. And we put that, there's like a little hole in the bottom, so we seal up the door and we depressurize the house. Okay, so we're actually sucking the air from the house outside. Okay, and we're simulating a wind of 56 kilometers an hour. Okay, so this is going to tell us how much air is coming in the house, where's the airflow, and we can actually feel like where the air is coming from, like windows and doors and attic hatches, all that kind of stuff. Whatever's puncturing the envelope of the house, and there's possible air leakage, we'll find it basically. So that's our job. Yeah, look, from today, like the federal program is planned to end March 31st, 2011. So another year, another 15 months. Okay, so if you do your test today, you have until that date. Okay, the provincial, it's always 18 months. The provincial is Efficiency New Brunswick. It's a provincial-based program. It's still going to keep on going. Like, let's say next March coming up in 2011, you say, oh, well, my furnace went down and I want to get a new furnace. Well, you can still go through the program at that time because there's still going to be the provincial, but you're going to be missing out on the federal side. Now, whether or not there's a new program coming out, we heard from the grapevine that there's something coming up new after there, but for provincial, it's still going to keep on going. Yeah. If you do a test, you have enough information. Like the province wants you to renovate. They want you to save on your heating bill. Because if you guys are saving on your heating bill, the environment benefits equally. You're saving money. The contractor's making money. You're putting back the money in the environment and the economy. So it's all a big circle, right? So it's nothing but good, right? Plus the house value is up, and it just.
And the government will subsidize some of the cost of your test too, so keep it affordable and make sure that all people take advantage of it. As far as Moncton, it's a bit more expensive, but the test takes a longer time as well. It takes a full day because the blower door test is a lot more complex. You have to measure difference. What's that?
You do a test per unit.
Yeah, and every time you do a test per unit, you have to measure the difference in pressures and all the other units, because they might be connected somehow. Okay. So it takes a while, and you have to measure all the windows. It's a bit more.
It's like 8 hours. At the end of the evaluation, once we look at everything that we could probably think that can be done, or if there's let's say we go in the basement, there's only 1 inch of the white styrofoam, which you guys probably seen a lot there. Just the 1 inch on the wall, barely hanging there, right? So we recommend either more getting that out and ripping out the insulation, putting more either spray foam, or if you want to finish your walls basically, right? So we sit down and we explain all the programs, what's available and all that kind of stuff. So these are the kits that come with the evaluation. So these are the Efficiency New Brunswick and Eco Energy. So it comes with a nice keeping the alien book. This explains any renovation you want to do yourselves. Everything's been proven to work in this. It's been tested. It's been proven. It's from Natural Resources Canada, and this is a book. It's a really nice book if you guys have nothing to do and just read it on your spare time there.
Or at least through the sections, it's of interest for you.
Exactly, yeah. So what we recommend, you can use that, and if you want to
get a copy of that?
once you do your test.
Yeah. That's all the same package.
Yeah. So basically, it gives you a whole bunch of information on the hiring contractor, who to hire, make sure they have a background, and see if any references, that kind of stuff.
Trying to find like licensed people with insurance.
Especially the big problem would be like heating system, where like heat pumps would be installed where it wasn't licensed refrigeration contractor. There's a big fine for that, and sometimes you don't want to end up with problems. So that's why it's good to do your research on the contractor.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of information we give out there.
We don't want to see you guys on homes after that. Yeah.
So it comes with this grant sheet there, which we brought like a few case studies where we'll show you guys after. We get a whole bunch of sheets there. It just explains all the grants. We sit down and it's just there's a whole bunch of gibberish in there. Like it'd take me 4 hours to just explain it all to you guys. But basically, usually it's quick because it's regarding to your house, right? I'm not going to recommend insulation if your walls are full, unless you want to put foam on the siding. But anyway, that's another story. And then you get the provincial kit, which explains how the provincial works, all the 20% rebate or the interest-free loan, which we'll talk more about at the end there.
Like the federal grants, they're all like fixed amount of money. For example, if you insulate your basement, you can get up to $1,250. If you put in a heat pump, like $500. It's all different amounts, and the government kind of calculated the payback on these to come up with a kind of a system. So yeah, what they want you to do is really much like if you're gonna already replace your furnace, you would probably just buy the basic model that just fits, right? You wouldn't spend like that $2,000 more on the super efficient unit. What they want you to do is buy an Energy Star system that's a lot more efficient, but you can still get it a little bit cheaper than the base model. So it's a pretty good incentive. And that's why you want to make sure that everything qualifies. That's why they put some guidelines, but it's very good though.
It's raising the bar on energy savings. I mean, the consumption would be reduced by 51%. So we actually calculate how much you would save per year, and it's very precise. Okay,
like I will be on a total bill.
Yeah, on a total bill.
If you know your total bill for a year is $3,000, well, you'd save that percentage out of that amount.
Your savings, yeah, exactly. Like it's pretty precise, especially on the new homes program where everything's like there's no variables.
So that's why this test is pretty helpful. And that's not only about fighting leaks. We can actually quantify them, like how much air is actually flowing in the fan. So telling you if your house is pretty tight or if there's a long way to go. And then after on the report,